In addition to going over mortgage rates in the US economy, we will also examine Bitcoin in more detail. New rails in a system were just released by BlackRock. Hold on a second, this article is worth reading. And to top it all off, check out this stunning XRP chart we have available. Breathe deeply because we must plunge headfirst. Bitcoin is currently at $55,995, while Ethereum is at $239, an increase of 1.3% in the past day. It is not accessible at the moment, closing at 57 cents or 2.45% of the total market value of cryptocurrencies at this moment. XRP has seen a small dip compared to 13% of the US dollar and US dollar cash, which have both returned to their respective currency pegs. We anticipate a spike in the fourth quarter of this year that might extend the bull run until tax time in 2025. As we near the conclusion of the year 2025, folks, there's something you should be aware of. Our hopes for a breakthrough this year have been dashed. Ripple and XRP are the topics we're covering. Keep your eyes peeled for Bitcoin Horror V's catastrophic recovery. Here is the story from NBC News. Elimination of employees by the Federal Reserve is quickly approaching. In what amounts? There's less than what was previously known. The Federal Reserve asserts that the federal funds rate is the basis for measuring different economic borrowing costs. A possible rate cut has been suggested by the Reserve. For the first time since the COVID-19 outbreak, the central bank cut the federal fund rate on Wednesday. This rate is used as a benchmark for other borrowing costs throughout the economy. Investors are unable to precisely foretell the magnitude of the possible reduction, even if this move was widely anticipated. In a Tuesday mail study with CNBC, most people expected a 25% drop from the present 5.3%. Central banks are more likely to give it a quick look, contrary to what Wall Street speculators think. At this point in time, what do we know? Think about whether it will be 25% or 0.50%. There, your odds of winning are lower than on the Vegas B-lines. Rest assured, it will not be 1%. It would be really insane. It's easy to slash these rates in half, but how will it affect the cryptocurrency markets overall? That's the one I'm after. Since CDs are effectively bonds similar to government bonds, are you planning to look at lower interest rates for them? As a result, their rates drop after that. A drop is anticipated because our previous rates were over 5%. When interest rates go below 3%, investors will look for other places to put their money. Investors would seek refuge in cryptocurrency when told they may expect returns of only 2% to 3% on traditionally guaranteed investments like treasury bonds and certificates of deposit. Cryptocurrencies may account for as little as 1% or 5% of their total assets. The possibility of investing as little as 10% of their capital is rather high. Starts to diversify their holdings away from traditional banks and into cryptocurrency markets after coming to terms with the fact that, well, they're willing to face some portfolio risk. The bull run might get underway with this. Pay will be the main point. Take note of this and proceed. Accordingly, we won't see the rate decrease today, and the amount of the decline and the timing of the money's rotation out are also uncertain. We will see the rate cut firsthand. However, cryptocurrency won't start attracting investors right away. Instead, it might not begin to trickle until later this year, maybe not even until the fourth quarter. You can't help but notice the idea that the current upswing in Bitcoin markets will last all the way into tax time. What happens during tax season is common knowledge, and big businesses know exactly how much the money they need to hand over. Once they pay off their obligations and start selling off their holdings, which should happen in the summer of 2025, we can resume our ascent. Once that happens, mortgage rates will fall for the first time in over 18 months, and we should see exponential movements in numerous altcoins. Is there a mistake here? I agree that this was an excessive reaction based on a massive bubble. The present mortgage and housing rates will, in my opinion, eventually be fixed. Can we get back on our feet? The outcome of the next presidential election will have a significant impact on whether the mortgage rate reduces to 2% to 3%. In less than 2 months, the U.S. economy and the Bitcoin market will be profoundly affected by a presidential election that features two strong contenders. The United States should lead the way in cryptocurrency, according to someone who has spoken at length on the topic and went to the Bitcoin conference. Not everyone is as outspoken about Bitcoin as the first person. First, they act as though they have no interest in Bitcoin, but later on they change their minds. I take it this is just a publicity stunt to rally support before they file a public lawsuit. We are living in fascinating times, yet there is a lot happening right now. From my perspective, NFTs was an attack on Trump. With the end of the quarter just around the corner, we think it's crucial that everyone takes part. To be honest, this came as close as anything has to convince me to give up on cryptocurrency, Jesse Haynes said in Token 2049, addressing this critical issue. Let out a hearty laugh and watch. At approximately 2049, the traditional italics will play a beautiful music, ushering in a new sort of well. His supporters and financiers are primarily interested in discovering if there is any kind of discrepancy with the individual. We can refer to it as spade to spade or ask if there is a major contradiction here. He must be selling a ton of Ethereum at the moment. Even while we still think Ethereum will reach $10,000, we expect turbulent times ahead. It has already increased by a factor of 10, and others predict it will reach 20,000. Once again, here is the video. It's something we'll discuss. Bitcoin was recently the subject of an in-depth examination by the $10 trillion financial giant BlackRock, which asserted that it constituted a unique diversifier. We may anticipate a rotation of these financial giants like BlackRock now that the new marketing team has come. Dear Morgan, JP has honesty and Charles Schwab in an effort to bolster cryptocurrency. Robinhood steps in. Given the impossibility of an alt season, we will begin with Bitcoin. Until Bitcoin decides to advance, money comes before it. Moreover, since 2013, nothing has changed and the playbook is replaced. Chad made these available. BRICS stated that the new railroads will constitute an entirely new financial network, not just for international transfers. An alternative payment method independent of the United States dollar and its verification procedure is being considered by new rails, new globe BRICS. According to Sergei Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, the new payment system will work as an all-encompassing financial framework and make international transactions easier. This is particularly noteworthy considering Trump's stated goal of maintaining America's position as the leading cryptocurrency, as well as Brooks' noteworthy revelation of a new payment method. I wouldn't be surprised if Ripple collaborated with every bank in India, given the number of partnerships it has formed with UAE and Indian banks, which it controls about 75% of, among others. It is already known that major institutions have been doing business with Ripple. We have been aware of this statistic since Ashish Burr exposed it during his 2018 onstage presentation at a Canadian convention. Ripple owned more than 75% of the banks. There is virtually just one major bank in their country. We haven't heard of any changes, although we have seen a wide variety of job openings at Ripple's various sites. You can see that this is a fantastic response. I went there too, and then there was a post on Reddit. Despite the minimal likelihood of direct cooperation between Ripple and Russia, a future BRIC coin might be hypothetically created thanks to the open source nature of the XRP ledger. My guess is that this system is a brand new network with an emphasis on compatibility. Do not put all your eggs in the BRX adoption basket. XRP adoption is on the horizon. To counter BRX, the West may embrace XRP. After all, they would hate to see the US fall behind in the cryptocurrency race.